Hello friends and neighbors, it is September 30th, a little after 8:30 at night. I just got home and I realized I hadn't filmed anything for the last day of VEDS yet. I spent most of today hanging out with Alicia, as we haven't seen each other for a while, and so we just kind of wanted some time to ourselves, and so we took it, and I didn't film. But there's still a few hours left, and I can still film for a little bit. I'm actually going to do my VEDS retrospective tomorrow, because I usually do one extra day for VEDS. I do like a VEDS 31 on October 1st, where I talk about VEDS and, you know, everything. But today I wanted to finish off this series of components of reviewing that I've been doing with the last component of reviewing, at least as far as my reviewing goes, at least as far as I'm concerned. What is that component, you ask? That component is what I refer to as the X Factor. And it should be noted that I came up with that title long before the show The X Factor started. And actually I probably got it from Jesse, because I think Jesse used it for his, when he was still doing his theme song Throwdown, he used the X Factor as one of his categories, and I guess I really liked it, so I'm using it. I'm stealing from Jesse again. My feeling with reviews is that no two reviews are going to be alike. Review is going to be different. Every story is different. You're going to approach it differently. It's going to affect you differently. There's always going to be something different about each one. It always bugs me a little bit when I hear people gripe at reviewers. You know, they give a bad review to something, and then people will say, well, you gave a good review to this one, and this did the same thing as this, so why don't you like this here? Well, because it's different here. It worked there, it didn't work there, because of that X factor, because of that whatever it is, that extra thing that you have to consider when you're looking at something. Sometimes when I'm reviewing, I have to take a story and I have to boil it down to its most basic component. That's not always easy to do, because a lot of stories get very, very complicated, and a lot of stories have more than one basic component. But generally, you can do that, and especially when it comes to crunch time, like for books versus movies reviews, when it comes to crunch time and you are trying to figure out which one is better. Oftentimes, it will come down to that X factor, that one little thing that makes whatever version unique. You don't review to a formula. I've never been able to review to a formula, to look at different things like how did they do this, how did they do this. Even when I'm doing my rounds for books versus movies reviews, the rounds are different every time. They're similar, like I always talk about story and imagery and various characters, but there's always different things about each story that are going to be more important to talk about. When Jesse and I did V for Vendetta, for instance, I realized when I was doing that review that V needed to be his own category, separate from the other characters and separate from the other components. V needed to be his own category, not just for the character himself, but what he represented. I need to talk about both of those things. Moreover, that needed to be the last round. That needed to be the deciding factor of the review. And that's what a lot of reviewing is. A lot of reviewing is just deciding what's important. What does make this story stand out? What is this story trying to say? What is the most basic component of this story? Because you can be really formulaic about it, but when you do that, you're not going to be really getting at what the story is getting at. You're not going to be getting to the meat and the substance of the story, and you're not going to be really doing the review justice then. So I guess you can think of it as the leftover component, the catch-all component, but it's a really, really important one. And with that, I am going to edit this video and then go take my chapped lips to bed. Happy last day of VEDS, VEDSies, and I will see you tomorrow for the VEDS wrap-up. Hey, one other thing. For those of you participating in the thumbnail challenge, at this point I've only gotten 3 thumbnails and they're all from the same person. Thank you to that person. I can't remember your username at the moment. I apologize, but thank you for submitting your thumbnails. That is all to say that I am going to extend the deadline to October the 9th. So you have until October the 9th to do some thumbnails so I can actually, like, pick them. Also a reminder, if you're participating in the Ultimate Collaboration Challenge, that's tomorrow. Bye.